Well, hello, and welcome back to Read Becca. It is time for a to-be-read list. I'm struggling hard with the FOMO because there are so many events in May that I want to participate in, and I cannot possibly participate in them all. I'm trying to keep my TBRs very focused this year, or my monthly TBRs. This month's TBR, I have mainly short things. All of them are prioritized toward readathons that I really want to participate in. So I'm not going to talk through all of the readathon details, but I'll link the hashtags and, if relevant, announcement details down below. And so I have a small list of short things mainly, and a few things in the back of my mind for alternate readathons as backups if I have room, but I don't know how much extra room I will have. So front of the list before all of this, or taking priority over all of this, is that I am reading for the BookTube prize still, and I have 3 books remaining to finish. So I will not be talking about those until I have finished this round of the BookTube prize at the end of this month, but those will be happening somewhere. So as far as the readathons that I'm participating in, I'm not going very hardcore or focusing on getting all the list of prompts or bingo cards or anything like that. It's just books on the theme is where I'm focused. And these all, I sort of focus things in by hitting things that are for the readathon, things that are from my yearly TBR shelf, or things that have been on past readathon TBRs, potentially. So these are all things that I have prioritized in some way. So first up, let's talk Climhon. Climhon is a year-long readathon focusing on climate change related books. And this is a novel, or really a novella, Aboreality by Rebecca Campbell. This is specifically from Stelliform Press in Canada that is focused on environmental fiction. And this one, as far as I know, is kind of about a small coastal village dealing with the effects of climate change, and this is a speculative fiction work. This is the winner of last year's Ursula K. Le Guin Prize. That's one of my goals for the year, is to read all of those works that were on the long list or nominees list for the Ursula K. Le Guin Prize, because I read it in the past and really loved the works that were nominated. So that is priority number 1, is Ursula K. Le Guin Prize goal and Climhon readathon. Next up is Misery May, which is focused on reading books that are sad and a bit miserable. The first one is Emily Notham's Strike Your Heart. This is a beautiful Europa edition, and I think this may be translated. Yes, translated from French by Alison Anderson. So I picked this up in 2022, in fact, for a tiny book. Try a chapter, and I loved the writing, but it was so heavy that I was not in the mood for it at that time. And this is the perfect time, because I've been feeling really great. It's the time to get into some miserable stories. So let me just read the synopsis on this one, the beginning of it anyway. Diane is raised by a mother so plagued by jealousy of her own daughter that she's incapable of showing affection to her. Despite this, Diane grows up to become a brilliant young woman who rejects societal expectations. She forges her own path, dismissing suitors and pursuing her dream of becoming a cardiologist. So that all sounds pretty hopeful so far. At university, she befriends an assistant professor, Olivia. Intelligent and cold, Olivia's ambition and need to feel superior to others drags Diane down to a dark place. So yeah, that's pretty bleak, pretty dark and miserable. And when I read the first chapter of this before, we were completely in the character of the mother of the main character of the book, if that makes any sense. But the mother was so awful. That was what put me off reading it, but so well characterized. I could see how she would be a compelling character if you could deal with her awfulness. So I'm prepared for some awful in this one. The other Misery May pick I have is nonfiction, and that is Rabbit Proof Offense by Doris Pilkington. This one is interesting because it is based on the story of Pilkington's own mother, and I think this is a situation that I never learned about previously, and I don't think is very much talked about in the Western world. But much like residential schools in Canada, there was a program in Australia to pull Aboriginal children from their families to re-educate them in order to erase their society and culture. And so this is the story of Doris's mother going through that experience and getting out of it. So that sounds pretty dark and harrowing. And then we have Mental Health May, which is focused on reading books all about mental health, whether fiction or nonfiction. And I have The Center Cannot Hold by Eleanor Sachs. This is on my TBR for the year. It is also one that has been on my TBR for the year last year as well. And it was on my Mental Health May TBR last year. I did get to other books for that readathon last year, but I didn't get to this one. So this is a return, and much like last month, I also had a returning readathon visitor. This one, I don't have a goal to finish it. My goal is just to start it within this month because this is a little bit longer and it is kind of dense from what I hear, though I also hear it's really compelling. So I think this is going to be another heavy one. I've got a lot of heavy stuff, but mostly short. So I think at least starting it and keeping it moving over the next couple of months, if I need to, is probably what I need to do with this one. But it's one I've looked forward to reading for a really long time and I just need to get going on it. And then the last one on my actual TBR is Mislaid in Parts Half Known by Shannon McGuire. This is the newest book out in the Wayward Children series. I think this is book number 8, and it's a novella series, so another kind of short one. And the reason this is on here is not for a readathon. I can't think of any readathons this would actually fit for that I know of, and I don't really know the synopsis even, but I realized last year that I need to kind of treat keeping up with series as equally a priority to finishing series, and putting some energy and effort toward that, or treating that as valuable for my goals more so than I was before. So this is going to be keeping up with the series for me, because I've been slacking on reading sequels a lot this year since I get most of them from the library. My Read What You Want challenge was really preventing progressing that area of my goals. So getting this checked off, I've been looking forward to it massively. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but this is got dinosaurs. So that excites me very, very much because I love dinosaurs. But this whole series, I don't know what the synopsis of this particular one is, alternately sticks with children who have gone to portal worlds and come back and are dealing with feeling like they don't fit in here on Earth and they belong in their portal world. And so they're constantly trying to find their way back. It's got a lot of themes of difference and not fitting in, and found family throughout, certainly. But it alternates between books set here with the children kind of dealing with the situation here on Earth, and then other stories that are set in the portal worlds, or backstory almost of these people having gone to portal worlds in the past and how they end up at this school for wayward children where they find acceptance. So this one is going to be, I assume, a portal world story. We're going to be primarily outside of Earth. So I love that. I love dinosaurs. I'm very much looking forward to it. So that is it for my official TBR. Like I said, there are several other readathons, especially I think the Spoonies readathon is like #1 priority as a backup if I have room for it. I've got a couple of ideas that I really have wanted to get to for a long time for Spoonies. So that one is focused on reading books with disabled or chronically ill individuals. So I definitely want to try to fit that in, but I don't have time for everything. So yeah, I think that is all for my to be read list. Let me know which of these books I should be prioritizing because I kind of want to get to them all right away. And thank you so very much for watching.